I'm Dr. Ann Collins, and I teach political science here at McKendree University. And today I'm going to talk about a paradox we examine in American politics, and that is why Americans very much disdain Congress as an institution, yet incumbents or sitting members of Congress have a very high chance of getting reelected each year, that they go up for reelection. So we're going to talk about two different things. One, why Congress is very much lambasted by the public, but also why members of Congress get reelected so easily. So first of all, let's focus on Congress itself, the institution. What is it that makes us not very much appreciate what's going on with Congress? Well, first of all, the news media, they're not completely to blame, but they tend to focus on very much the negative aspects of what's going on in Congress. So today, for example, the headlines are emblazoned with a member of Congress to resign because of scandal. So yes, members do that to themselves. They are the ones engaging in these activities, but the news very much features these activities. So scandals, bickering, just recently with the debt ceiling debates. The media tend to focus on, the president and Congress walking out on each other and arguing and bickering, and the different parties arguing with one another. So instead of focusing on, the six senators in the debates, they're focusing on what's going wrong with the debates. So the media tend to highlight, again, what we want to read and what we tend to consume, and that's the negative aspects. Right now, the latest poll suggests that approval rating of Congress is sitting at around 17%, so very low, and the lowest of the institutions in our government. So that's one aspect of it. On the other side, however, why do we keep reelecting? Why, if a member of Congress wants to run for reelection, chances are very high that they'll keep their position. They'll stay in office. In the last midterm elections in 2010, if you remember the House, I believe 85% of them got reelected. Senators, a little less, about 83% got reelected. So a pretty good chance that you will get reelected if you want to. Even though we hate Congress as a whole, we keep reelecting the people who are in office. So why is that? Well, because incumbents have a huge advantage. First of all, name recognition. They are the ones who the local papers and also the national papers follow. So if you know anyone in Congress, it's probably going to be your member. And they're going to take every chance to let you know exactly what they are doing for you. So they work on issues that are going to help you back at home. So even though it's interesting, there was just a recent article on this, even though many of the members of the House who were elected in the last midterm elections in 2010, even though they pledged that they were going to be very conservative fiscally and not spend so much, they've got to be attentive to their home districts. And so they're finding themselves, in this bind, the pledge that they weren't going to spend, yet they need to be sure and take care of their people back home. So members are going to be aware of that. They're always going to be attentive to their districts. So that will help them when it comes time for reelection. And they are sure to feature to their constituents what they're doing. So they get to send newsletters back home. Here's what I'm doing for you. These are the good things that I'm doing. And people are tuned into that for their own districts. They also have a record of winning. So they know how it's done. They know how to run a winning campaign. They've done it before, obviously. So that's another advantage that they have. They have ready access to the media. They have better access to money. So interest groups are going to be more in tune and interested in people who are in office already and who are tuned in to the issues and have studied the issues. And finally, they have an advantage because of the districts and the way they're drawn. So every 10 years, districts are redrawn, and many of the incumbents have their districts drawn in favor of them rather than a challenger. So even though, yes, we don't like Congress as an institution, It's sitting at 17-18% approval rating. Chances are, if you are an incumbent, if you're a sitting member of Congress, you will be reelected.